Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we put on our detective hats and uncover the real story behind corporate filings. And today we're digging into Personalis Incorporated's latest filing. You know, sometimes a company's numbers can tell you more than 1,000 words, and let's just say this one has a few interesting whispers before we dive in. If you like getting these corporate secrets laid bare in simple terms, make sure you are subscribed. And hey, if you want to chat about these findings with other finance fans, join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. So what is the buzz? Personalis Incorporated just dropped some early look numbers for the end of 2025. And we're going to unpack what that actually means for the company's health and future. It is not just about the headlines, it is about what those headlines really signal under the hood. Alright, let's get into it. This filing is a snapshot of Personalis Incorporated, a company that is involved in the life sciences, specifically in areas like genomic medicine. They're essentially looking at our DNA to help develop better healthcare. Today's report is a Form 8K, which is generally used to announce major events that shareholders should know about. In this case, they're giving us a heads up on some preliminary financial and operational results for the fourth quarter and the full year of 2025. Think of it as a sneak peek before the full, detailed financial report comes out later. Before we look at the numbers themselves, let's quickly recap what this company is all about in the market. Personalis Incorporated's common stock, with a very small par value of $0.001 per S-share, is traded on the Nasdaq Global Market under the ticker symbol PSNL. This tells us they are a publicly traded company, and their stock is available for anyone to buy or sell on a major exchange. Being on Nasdaq means they are considered a growth-oriented company. The core of this particular filing is a press release they issued on the 8th of January 2026. This press release announced their preliminary financial and operational results for the quarter and fiscal year ending the 31st of December 2025. So, what are these early results telling us? This is where we need to look closely, not just at the numbers presented, but what is missing and what trends are starting to appear. Now, when we talk about financial results, we're really talking about how the company is doing in terms of making money, spending money, and growing. For a company like Personalis Incorporated, their revenue, which is the money they bring in from selling their services and products, is key. We also want to see their expenses, and importantly, if they're making a profit or a loss. This early look is giving us a glimpse into those critical areas as they wrapped up 2025. Imagine you are running a lemonade stand. Revenue is the money from selling lemonade. Expenses are the cost of lemons, sugar, and cups. Profit is what is left over. For big companies, it is much more complex, but the basic idea is the same. The filing itself doesn't contain the detailed financial tables directly in the main body, but it points us to Exhibit 99.1, which is that press release. This is common for 8K filings when a company is quickly getting material information out to the public. We have to assume the press release contains the actual numbers we'd be analyzing in a full 10Q or 10. Okay, since we don't have the full tables here, we'll focus on what the fact that they're releasing these preliminary numbers so early implies. It suggests they've got a solid grasp on their performance and wanted to share it promptly. This could be good news, or it could be a way to manage expectations before the full report. Let's think about what this preliminary announcement means in the broader context of Personalis Incorporated. Companies in the genomic medicine space are often focused on research and development, which can mean high upfront costs, but also the potential for significant future breakthroughs and revenue. So when we look at their numbers, we want to see if their investments are paying off, if they are growing their customer base, and if they are on a path towards profitability. Are they successfully commercializing their technology? Are they gaining traction in a competitive market? These are the big questions that preliminary results can start to answer. For example, if they announce strong revenue growth, it might suggest that their services are in high demand. If they announced a reduction in operating expenses, it could signal that they are becoming more efficient. Conversely, if they announced increased losses, it might mean they are investing heavily in new projects or facing some headwinds. The fact that they are releasing these numbers now, right after the year ended, suggests a degree of confidence in their performance. It's also important to consider the timing. Releasing these results in early January gives investors and analysts a chance to digest the information at the start of a new year, potentially influencing investment decisions as the year progresses. Let's consider the usual drivers for a company like Personalis Incorporated. Growth in this sector is often tied to partnerships with pharmaceutical companies, the success of clinical trials utilizing their genetic insights, and the overall adoption of precision medicine. If their preliminary results show positive trends in these areas, it is a good sign for their future. For instance, If they've secured new major collaborations or if key research projects where they are involved are progressing well, those will be factored into their financial performance. Now, what are some potential risks or opportunities we should be looking for when these detailed numbers do come out? A significant opportunity could be the expanding market for genetic testing and personalized medicine. As healthcare becomes more tailored to individual genetics, companies like Personalis Incorporated are well positioned to benefit. A risk, however, could be intense competition, regulatory hurdles, or the long and expensive process of bringing new discoveries to market. Their ability to innovate and effectively market their services will be crucial. In terms of industry context, the life sciences sector is always evolving. New technologies are constantly emerging and the landscape can shift quickly. Personalis Incorporated needs to stay ahead of the curve, not just in terms of scientific advancement, but also in its business strategy. Are they adapting to new market demands? Are they leveraging artificial intelligence or machine learning in their analyses, which is a big trend right now? This preliminary report is like getting the executive summary of a much larger book. It tells you the main plot points without all the finer details. The real analysis comes when we see the full financial statements where we can delve into things like their balance sheet, cash flow, and detailed income statement. We'd be looking for things like how much cash they have on hand, how much debt they've taken on, and how effectively they are converting their sales into actual cash. But even with this early look, the mere act of releasing these numbers signals that Personalis Incorporated is ready to be transparent about its performance heading into the new year. It is a signal to the market that they are managing their business effectively and are willing to share their progress. Looking at these results more broadly, Personalis Incorporated appears to be in a phase where they are communicating their performance early. This suggests a confidence in their trajectory. Their strength lies in their specialized field of genomic medicine, a growing area with high potential. However, like many in biotech, they likely face the challenge of turning innovative science into sustained profitability, which is a common tightrope walk in this industry. A key thing to watch will be how their revenue growth compares to their spending on research and development, and whether they are moving closer to profitability or continuing to invest heavily for future gains. The opportunities in personalized medicine are vast, but the path is often long and capital intensive, presenting both promise and inherent risks. Alright, that is our initial decode of this Personalis Incorporated filing. What is your take on these early numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps us out, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to check out the Discord link in the description to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.